Hello, hello, and welcome to another public class from HollyTreeEnglish.com. I'm teacher Holly, and I help serious students of English improve their speaking and grammar skills. And I am excited today to give session 3 of our public class talking about travel. This is a conversation class to help students practice English conversation. And we have a student already with us today, Anna, and I was explaining before the video started that I give these classes on Saturdays 3 times a month. Each Saturday is a different class, but I give each class 3 times because we have a big world and many time zones. So this is the session 3. It is evening for me, it is morning for some people, and night for others. So this morning I had students from Europe and Russia, and now I have Miss Anna. Welcome.
Thank you, Holly. How is it going?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Today has been a fun day. I met 2 new students. That was a lot of fun. How's it going for you?
It's fine. Thank you for asking. Hmm. I bet that one of the students was Marcos
Uh-huh.
because uh-huh. I know all those people. Oh,
hmm I finally found a time that worked for him. So when I added session 3, he was able to join. Or sorry, I added
yes.
the early morning at 9:30 my time, so he was able to join.
Very nice.
Hmm.
So how is the weather there?
Hot,
All right.
hot, just hot. That is all I can say. Hot and dry.
Mm-hmm.
How
Here,
is?
here it was sunny today, but it's not hot. We are in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting hotter, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So do you do you like the winter, or are you ready for spring?
Well, um, here we don't have spring. We have just winter and summer. You know,
Uh-huh. Okay, right. That's right.
because
I
it's
forgot.
a yes, it's a tropical weather, and I like it more when it's just hot and sunny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. Yes, I like the summer as well. I prefer spring. Um, Even though I have allergies, I love the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So today we are talking about travel. This is a conversation class about travel. Have you had the chance to travel?
I yes, I've been to several places in my own country, to the
Hmm.
Amazon rainforest, to the northeast of my country, to the south of my country, to several places, and abroad I just have traveled to the US.
Okay. I have not had a chance to travel outside of the US yet. I have traveled within or inside of the US to some places, but I have not traveled abroad. And in the US, if you tell someone that you have traveled abroad, it's maybe less nowadays, but it's still, they say, wow, cool. It's it's not as normal as say in Europe to travel abroad.
Um, I think it's it's almost the same here in my country
Mm-hmm.
because we have a poor population, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But see, people who have a better condition, I think it's normal to travel abroad, you know. We have a huge gap between poor people and um, people from the middle class and high society as well.
Uh-huh, that makes sense. Yeah. Here we have a middle class, and the middle class has to save, and then of course the upper class, the rich people travel more often, but um, it's yeah, I think people tend to travel more within our country. It's so big that you can get a lot of good experiences just traveling inside our country and um, still get a lot of experiences.
Uh-huh. Here in my country, it's the same, you know. You uh, we have the Amazon rainforest and a lot of animals and so on there, you know. Um it's a very beautiful place to go, and we have the south of Brazil. It's cold. We have awesome beaches along the
Hmm.
coast, and well, some people overrate the trips that are abroad, but I think they should value our country more because Brazil is a very nice country. And
Yeah, it has a rich history and a rich cultural heritage, like my country does. So I think in the U.S. and I'm the same. I have been the same way. We don't necessarily value we tend to look back and um, want to and there I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I do this, but I think it's just as interesting to notice the like both of our countries are a collection of races really from all over. I had a student once when I was doing my training who told me about some of the racial makeup of your country, and it was very interesting to me to listen to. So, and in my country, um, it's some of our traditions are our own, and some of them are sort of modifications of other traditions. And I think that's just as interesting as then going back to like I want to go to some of the countries where my ancestors are from. So tell me, where would you like to travel in the future if you have the chance?
I I want to go to Australia one day in the future.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, because I've never seen a koala just in pictures.
Uh-huh.
I think they are so cute and you know, I'd like to go snorkeling in the coral reef, the barrier of the corals. Um, I'd like to go to Japan,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
maybe I will because I talked with my husband, and he said it would be good to go to Japan one day. to Japan one day.
Uh-huh.
Trip to
Very
Japan.
cool. Yeah, Japan. That would be cool. Let's go together.
All right. If I win the lottery,
Right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
then
Exactly.
I can I invite you. I can invite you and a lot of people
Uh-huh. You can invite
on
me
me,
and
and a lot of people on me if I win the lottery.
you can invite Anatoly to meet us there. Yeah, yeah, or Asma. Um, Very cool. Yeah, I want to go. Most of the places I want to visit that I dream of visiting are in Europe. I would like to go to Japan someday, but before that, I want to go to some of the countries that are that my ancestors lived in. So Ireland, Scotland, Germany, France. Um, I'm trying to think. I think actually my French ancestry is from the name, the family name I am told is from the Northwest, and they are a Celtic people similar to the Irish. So that's interesting, and so that's my dream. But after knowing some students from Japan, I think I would very much like to visit there as well.
What would you like to do in Japan?
Just meet some people. I actually know a couple that lives there, so I'd love to see them again. I haven't seen them in many years. We communicate on Facebook, and that's it. Um,
I've heard that they are the most polite culture. You know, they are overly polite. Even the machines are.
no, they aren't. They
Yes,
aren't machines, but they are very polite.
even the machines there are polite. You know,
Oh,
the,
that, even the machines. Okay, I thought you were saying the people were like machines. No.
no, no, I would never say something like that. Oh my gosh, no, no.
No. Okay, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. Yeah, I wouldn't think you would. I just misheard you. I apologize. Um, yes, they are very, that is one of the reasons I enjoy teaching people from Japan. Besides that, like I like to listen to their voices and I like to know about their culture, but they're very they're very respectful to teachers without losing their own voice, if that makes sense.
Hmm. I don't actually. I didn't understand what you.
For example, if I have a Japanese student in my class, um, the student will be very respectful to me, but will still, if I give them the chance, usually my Japanese students express their opinions or their needs. They don't, when we say that someone keeps their voice, it means that they keep their thoughts and ideas.
I see. It's not easy to do in another language.
No, it's not.
No, no. It's really difficult because we don't know the way we sound, and there are some cultural differences. You know, the way people speak in one language is not like the way people will speak in another language. You know what I mean?
hmm I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if it's possible if the teacher or the person that you are speaking with gives you the chance and is patient enough to listen.
Yes. Where else would you like to go? If you want um if you want a trip with 5 stops, where where would you go?
A trip with 5 stops. Good question. And I can choose any stops, yeah?
Uh-huh. Yes, 5 stops.
I think the first place I would go would be Canada, a certain place in Canada, because I have students in Canada and they're all in one area. But since this is a public class, I don't want to say which.
Mhm.
Do you have your YouTube window open? I'm hearing an echo.
No, I'm sorry. People are playing video game here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, where was I? Oh, yes. So first would be Canada, and then, I would have to say, I would have to say Ireland, and then my Scottish friend she could come over and see me. I think if I go so far to Ireland, she will come the short distance to see me. Um, and that's two. So the next, hmm, the next would be Germany because I'm studying German. And the next would be Russia because I'm studying Russian and I know some people in Russia and I would love to talk with them a while. And then final stop would either be Japan or China. It's hard for me to choose. It's really
Um,
hard for me to say only 5.
yes.
What about
Um,
you? If you had 5?
okay. Australia,
Mm-hmm.
Japan,
Mm-hmm.
um, Europe. There are many countries there, so it's just one place, okay? Because all countries are close
Oh, I
to
wish
one
I knew that was
another.
part of the rules.
No, I changed the rules a little bit. Uh, Africa and Canada as well. So this way I would go to each continent.
Good idea. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Um, well, is there a place that you would never travel to?
Ooh, I hate to say that on a video because you never know who's going to watch.
Oh, oh,
I would never travel to Antarctica. That one I can say, I think, definitely, I would never travel to Antarctica.
uh, nice. No one will get offended by your answer.
Exactly.
You are
Right,
really
exactly.
smart.
And honestly,
Um,
the other places that I think I don't want to travel, um, it's not definite because things might happen to change my mind. It's hard to say. Um, so probably um, I think there are still some areas where there's cannibalism, so I probably wouldn't want to travel there.
Oh no. Uh, oh, I don't know which places are you are talking about, but I heard that there is cannibalism in China.
I don't know. I don't know, but if I went to China, I would probably go to Beijing or the city.
Yeah, I don't think uh, the bad things that happen in China happen everywhere there.
No, no. And that's true for, any country. Like some people think that my country is very unsafe, and there are actually some areas there are areas that are very unsafe, like in some of the big cities, and even some small parts of my city are not so safe. They're not as bad as say as the places you read about in the newspapers, but they have their moments. But there are some places in my country that are very safe and very pleasant to be. Um, you just have to be aware. You have to pay attention to where you are, who is around you. Um, I lived, I'm trying to think, for a little while, I lived near San Francisco, and my poor mother was very worried about me living there because it was not the safest area, but I just paid attention to who was around me, and I didn't go alone at night anywhere, and I was fine.
It's the same here in my country. There are places where it's safe to be and places that are really dangerous,
Mhm.
you know. And also um, your I don't know if I can say security depends on the way you behave, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know if I can say something like if you behave like a target, showing expensive things, you know, showing that you are a gullible tourist, you
Mhm.
know, you can become a target.
Yeah. Yeah, if you make yourself, we would say also, if you make yourself easy prey. Pray is spelled Prey, and this means not pray to God, but it's like something that can be hunted. If you make yourself easy prey, or if you behave, excuse me, like easy prey, you will get hurt. And even sometimes, if you don't, you can be extremely careful and get hurt. It's just because, unfortunately, there are some not nice people in the world.
Yes, that's true.
Hmm. So, Anna, do you think it is important for people to travel?
Uh-huh. I I think so because when you travel, you not just loosen up, loosen up, but you will also uh, broader broader your horizons.
Hmm.
You know, expand your broaden. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah.
Uh, expand your horizons. Get to know other cultures. You know,
Hmm.
and it's important because you just live once And since well, we don't know if we just live once. We assume that we just live once. So in case if it is true, we have to live intensely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's what I think. And you have to know the world, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, I think it is important if you can. I'm not sure that I believe it's the most important thing in life, but I do believe that it is important if you can travel that you do broaden your horizons, but also just the chance to connect with other people and to know other people that you wouldn't know otherwise. I think, but I'm someone who loves people, so um, you know, I think that's why I enjoy my job so much because I get to know a lot of people. So it's um it's a lot of fun. Um, so when you travel, are you more interested in the nature, in nature where you go, or are you more interested in the history or in the local people?
Um, Actually, in everything, you know, I I when I went, it depends on on the trip, you know. Uh, when I decide to go on a trip, I already know more or less about it. When I went to the Amazon rainforest, I knew that I was going to see animals and nature, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy any kinds of trip.
Mm-hmm. Hello, we have a new student with us. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Um, we have two. We have two who?
Two
Yes,
new
it's
students,
me. Can you
Jorgen
hear me?
Oh,
and
hi. I'm sorry. I
Jürgen,
David.
missed your, yeah, I'm sorry. I missed the notice that you joined. Welcome to you as well.
thank you. Anna was so kind just to invite me. I was up anyway. It's 3 o'clock and I couldn't sleep. So 3 a.m. So
Oh
it's the
my
middle of
gosh,
middle
3
of the
a.m.
night. Yes.
I see. Welcome. What was your name? I'm sorry.
Thank Jürgen, you can get it Danish equivalent of George
Mm,
done in Danish. Uh, but you can say George, so that's okay.
Jan. Did you say Jan?
Jorgen.
The Danish
Oh,
pronunciation,
Jürgen. Ah,
but
okay.
it's quite difficult for non-Danish to speak Danish.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, some of my family, some of my ancestors come from Denmark, so very cool. And we have
Oh, that's
Beto,
interesting.
is it?
Yes, it's Beto.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so welcome to you both. Anna and I have been discussing traveling and where we have been, where we want to go, or in my case, where we haven't been, and just practicing English conversation. And now we're talking about if we think traveling is important. So, which of you gentlemen would like to answer that question first?
I would like to answer the question first.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I would like to go to a city in Mexico called Guanajuato. Guanajuato is a city. I don't know how the word for. I think it's colonial. It's a city with old buildings and I think it's very beautiful, and I would like to go there.
Mm-hmm. Sounds very interesting. Guanajuato, I have heard of it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Jürgen?
Oh, yes, I think so. I've been to Stockholm and lost self, and it was nice, also a bit difficult. But in London, I visited the Science Museum, and I had the enjoyment of eating English breakfast, which was new for me at the hotel, and I loved that. And in Sweden, I saw an outdoor zoo called the Skansen last year, like an outdoor exhibition, and also saw this ABBA museum. I was there for 4 days. I was supposed to miss the conference, but I was only there the first evening. Traveling is important. For me, if I were to travel again, I would definitely make a plan, and then it would be like a study travel where I would learn a lot of things. So I had a definite plan and also knew where to speak with. I would go on a vacation again without like just having not having a plan. I would make a plan and then I would travel with a purpose. Travel, I think it's much more easy, much easier. So you have something to take with you home, something you learn, something you talk with, someone who talk with, someone you interviewed, perhaps writing something like in travel writing. Some people actually live by writing, travel writing. You know, they sell what they write about, what they see, and I think that's wonderful. But so.
I agree with you to make a plan, and I have sometimes thought that would be an interesting job to be a travel writer and make money and actually be paid to travel to different places.
Yes, I think it would be awesome, absolutely, because it's fun and you have to be very observant. And when you are very observant somewhere, you will also enjoy the trip much more because you have to be observant so you can sell what you write later. But it can also be difficult perhaps because you have to travel a lot and it's exhausting and to travel emotionally and psychologically. It could be stressful, and you can live in different kind of hotel rooms and you know that you don't know in advance. But for me to travel, I would make a definite plan because it was quite exhausting for me to travel alone, especially to London. London is a huge town and it's so confusing, and the cab driver was rude, and and the streets are narrow and winding, and there's even in the middle of the night, the people are busy outside in the street, and I couldn't comprehend how people could stand living there on a daily basis, even sleep. I hardly slept at all. But I love the English breakfast, and I love the Chinese waitress, and I love the Science Museum. But it's a city where I think, especially the inner city, where people just work and work and work. If I were to go to England again, I would go to one of the smaller towns, preferably in the south, and go to the countryside and perhaps hopefully meet someone I could talk with, because the English people are friendly. But it just seems that in London they're simply too busy to chat and to talk. So.
I see what you mean. And I'm sorry, we're having a bit of a problem, and I'm trying to solve it and still listen to you. So I missed some of what you said. I apologize, but that does make sense. I think it's the same in New York, that a lot of people are just too busy, and
Are you from New York?
No, I
teacher,
just have heard of it, and
no.
it has a bad reputation.
Okay. Yes, they should be extremely rude. But you know, I don't know. Well, people are different everywhere, I guess. I don't know where I would go if I want to visit America. Perhaps California, because people seem nice there. But that's just
They
my
usually
impression
are.
from movies and so forth. And
If you think I'm
I
nice,
want to be in a place where people are down to earth, where you can be who you are and relax. And I think California seems very interesting, both also in terms of nature. They have these huge, amazing forests, these huge trees. What are they called? I saw them in a Hitchcock's movie, North by Northwest, I think it was called, where they did this huge forest with these huge trees, and they are also on this monument, Mount Rushmore, and so I like movies where they show backdrop of nature. But also the place in Washington and Oregon. My grandmother was in Oregon once, and she had home with her a huge book with entitled Oregon, and she had some Indian stuff, souvenirs. She also had a lava rock that was split in two, fossil lava rock. I think they have volcanoes in Oregon too, or
they
at least
do.
they had.
They have some big ones.
But it was a lava rock, and I was quite surprised because she had this from America. So
that's very cool. So, excuse me, Jorgen, but I want to ask Beto just to go on to maybe the next question to make sure that everyone has enough chance to speak. Is do you have maybe
yes.
if you have traveled, do you have any funny travel stories or crazy things that have happened to you?
No, I have no any funny. I don't like to travel too much because I like to meet other cities, but I don't like to the part of when you have to travel. So the part of the travel. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm learning English, and sometimes it's difficult to me to catch the idea. But some things I it's difficult to find the correct word because I need to think in Spanish first and then to try to translate to English, and I'm slow in that part. But answering your question, I don't like too much to travel. So, I like to meet other places, but it is. I think it's very tired the part of when you have to take your bag, your how do you say the la mochila, your backpack, and
Your luggage?
yes, your luggage, and put things in there, and then to uh, to do the action of travel. And I think it's very tired that part, and I don't like that.
It can be tiring. Yes, even traveling inside the US. By the way, Jorgen, I am from California, and very often we are friendly. And it can be very tiring, but also it can be an adventure. But it's not for everyone.
Yes, not for everyone.
And no apology necessary. We are all at different stages of learning here. I am learning Spanish, German, and Russian, and I make mistakes all the time. So it's all right.
Okay, thank you. But sometimes I feel maybe I don't know if you feel in the same manner. I think so I have moments when I feel that I can learn. Maybe I don't know, but I try and listen audios and I can learn. I don't know why.
Because maybe listening is not the correct way for you. Maybe reading is better, or maybe finding a conversation partner is better for you than listening?
I think listening to try uh, to try my listening skills. For example, I think it's more important to understand people when they are speaking, because I can catch the idea and then I can say my ideas. I think, but if I can understand what people are saying, I think it's more difficult to say my idea if I don't know what are you trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so let me explain a different way. There is a difference when you talk about learning by listening and when you talk about developing your listening skills. So what I mean is that in the history of my profession, there was a way of learning called audiolingual. This means that people would always just listen and repeat, and other similar things. And for some people it worked, and for many people it did not work, because my idea is because this mode or this style of learning is not right for everyone. But
Okay.
developing listening skills, your ability to listen and understand, yes, that is important. But when you speak about learning new words and grammar and things, you might have to choose a different way.
Okay. So I would like to try to read more and write more.
You can try that. Another way is to find a way to do things with your language. Find someone to write emails with, or find someone to talk to. And just because I am a teacher, I will say you could try to find a teacher.
Okay.
We call that in English shameless plug.
Okay. Okay.
Jürgen, what do you think is a good way to learn a new language? And then we will ask Anna.
Oh, just today I saw a video about learning English the natural way, and there was a woman. She had taught English since 1976, and she said her conclusion for all this English teaching as a English ESL teacher was that we should learn English the same way as we learn our native language, by imitating. And she also said that people who tend to read a lot is often good writers, because they imitate what they see on paper, use it in their writing, and the same goes for speaking as well. And I think she had a great point, and that was also what I'm sorry, Malik or the other man said now. Yes, I think so. It's about imitating. It's about so that kids learn English or learn their native language. They learn by repeating and imitating. But because I was thinking about it in relationships to grammar, is grammar a great way of learning English? All these rules, and but I think grammar is okay in the editing phase when you want to make sure that what you say is okay, but you can't just. I think the best way to learn English is simply by immersion. Simply speak a lot, read a lot, write a lot. If you can, simply engage in everything that you can. Find something that's fun, engaging. I had a period where I watched a lot of CBS Morning News, and then I like to write some video caption for this, and I think that was a great way of learning, because then I was presented with something that I could use. I didn't have to figure something out. I could just go from what the newspapermen said and add my own phrases and ideas, and some were fun and some were not so fun, and it could be anything, just anything you like. Just jump right into it and start speaking or reading or writing. Have fun, I think that's the best way. Lose your inhibitions more or less and have fun.
And Anna, what do you think?
I totally agree with Jorgen. I think we have to be immersed in the language to learn. You know, I just watch TV in English and in French recently because I've been learning the two languages, and I take courses, I join hangouts, I give some hangouts as well, and I I try to read books and to do almost everything in English, even to think in English. I try to think in English sometimes, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
That is important. Mhm.
it's not easy. There are times when I feel that I'm stuck somewhere or that there is something really wrong about my English, you know. And I just started learning French, and it's been really difficult, but nice at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm. And so I'm going to answer the question, and what I like to say is that I think there is no one best way to learn a language. And I'll tell you why I think this, because if you study in my field, you will find research that gives proof to all of the ways that you have listed. So Beto mentioned listening, learning by listening, and you will find some research that says this is best. You will find some research that agrees with Jorgen and the video that he watched, that says immersion is best. You will find research, that agrees with Anna as well, saying that, and you will also find research that says the opposite. And one reason for this is possibly some of the studies are not well constructed, not well made, not very scientific, but a lot of them are. And so we say in English working theory, which means that I'm still just something I'm thinking about. It isn't anything that I have really tried to study, is that because people are so different and there is evidence or proof that people learn in different ways. They have different styles of learning. And so my theory is that different learning methods or different learning ways will work for different people. So immersion is working well for Jorgen and it's working well for Anna, but listening, Beto has tried and it's not working for him. So Beto, you're here listening. You could try immersion, and that means finding people to talk with, like on italki or Verbling. Those are great sites to find people to talk with.
Okay, I was using a website called Speaking24.
Uh-huh.
You can find people around the world that want to practice in English, but I always find people from the India and people from the Arabia Saudita, and it's an accent very difficult to understand.
Mm-hmm. So if you go to, I'm sure it's a great site, but if you go to italki and Verbling, they are very big. So it is very possible you can find a native speaker or a near native speaker to talk with, and maybe they want to learn or practice Spanish.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to look for that site now.
Mm-hmm. I'll write them for you for everyone.
Yes,
So we
please.
have italki. So here's italki, and Jürgen, do you know about Verbling and italki?
Yes, I attend Verbling at the present, and I also I had a few classes at Italki also,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both great. So I believe. But yes, I think it's good if one can find a native speaker to chat with, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
as
Or a near native speaker
because
if you
some
can't
can be difficult
find.
to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you can't
Ne
find, well, it's also okay if they're not a native, just as they're not absolute beginners, of course. It
right,
should be someone
exactly.
who's
Mm-hmm.
better, a bit better in English than yourself, so you can learn something. But I think there's a lot of opportunities because the English learning community is so large that
Yes,
there are
it's
also
huge.
always someone groups and who want to chat, about anything and everything just to get to speak, and I think that's wonderful. Also, as a byproduct, you can actually learn a lot of things about a lot of things because the topics can reach from history to biology to whatever's interest you have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
everybody can start a hangout on Google Plus if you have the incentive and motivation and so forth. It's not if you don't know who's coming. It's easier when you know who's coming. But then everybody can start a hangout and just start talking. You should not be so formal. I think. And also Skype is also great because then you can talk with one-on-one.
Yes,
So,
Skype is
but I think
great.
in the beginning you need to have need to have a dedicated teacher, and a dedicated teacher is always good also when you're an advanced student. But at least in the beginning you need a dedicated teacher, both in terms of learning, but also in terms of feeling safe and secure, because it can be very difficult when an absolute beginner just speak. And then there are some teachers, they're excellent in motivating. I think that's a special teacher skill to make you feel safe and at
Mm-hmm.
home. So you just start speaking, no
Mm-hmm.
matter
A
how
lot of,
intimidated you might feel.
pardon me, a lot of my students come to me and they tell me I'm so scared to speak, and so usually that is the first thing we have to discuss is, maybe and sometimes they are better at English than they think they are, but their fear is very powerful. And
Yes, I think so. Yes. But I can give an advice. If you have a book or anything written in English, just start to read it aloud. I do sometimes. I read the book The Secret Garden by Hudson Burnett, this children's book. I read
mm-hmm.
most of it aloud. That was fun, especially when I reached the part where he spoke with this Yorkshire accent. One of the characters has a Yorkshire accent, and it was spelled out in the book. So I tried to speak with this accent, but I had fun. And then when you hear your own voice, you can actually hear that you are improving and you have fun, because when there are dialogues in a book and you read them aloud, you almost assume the role as an actor in a play. Or you can find a website where they have dialogues. There's a lot of interesting, fun dialogues too, when you can speak.
There are so many opportunities, so many chances. So yes, Beto, that is good advice that Jürgen gives, to find something to read and read it out loud. And some places, this website, if you still want to improve your listening skills and know about pronunciation, is ESL Fast. And they have things for you to read and audio. It's the Google Voice, but it will still usually pronounce correctly. And you can read aloud, read with your voice, and then check the pronunciation. Anna, I want to give you a chance to speak. Are there some sites that you can recommend?
Yes. English Town.
Mm-hmm.
It's an English course online, and I like it very much. And at edX, you can take free courses on edX. You sent me a link to take
I
a.
did. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It was very kind of you. And I recommend those sites. And there was one more, Coursera.
Oh,
Coursera.
yes, Coursera. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And Udemy is a good place. They have some English courses that you can purchase, or you can take a course on anything and practice your English by doing the course and learning something new. That's one way to do it.
What do you think about the course of Rosetta Stone?
What do I think about it?
Yes.
Again, I think that it works for some people, and I think it works for. It must be working for at least some people because it's very popular. I don't think it's for everyone. If you are having trouble learning by listening, I would not recommend purchasing it.
Okay.
Not because it's bad, but because I don't think it would fit you.
Okay.
I very much recommend on Italki. I'm not sure about Verbling, but on Italki you can find what are called informal tutors, and these tutors, they aren't as expensive, and they just they might teach a lot of conversation, or they have instant tutoring. So if you have a little money and you just want, you say to yourself, oh, I want to practice English for a half hour, you go online, you see who is available, you pay for the half hour, and you have a chance to practice.
Okay.
Or you can find a language partner to exchange and help them with practice Spanish for free.
Okay. I just create an account in Italki, and I want to explore that site.
Yes. EDX. Voxy. What is Voxy?
Voxen is an English course. It's like English Town. Those courses I recommend. They are very good. Vox is a course based on articles, and there are some group classes there, and people read the articles and answer questions about the articles and have a conversation. There are exercises as well. And that's it. You can have group or private classes in either on EF and on Voxy.
Yes. Okay. I have heard of it, but I could not remember what it was. Jorgen, you're up. What maybe do you have a site to add to our list?
I tried EF as Anna mentioned, and also Verbling as and Jalke. EF I found was more business related. I attended some business English business learning, and I didn't like it. Too formal and stiff, so I jumped out of. But I just tried to look at Voxy because that's something new for me. It says discover our English solution, how our efficient methodology, and I'm trying to open it now. But
It sounds
No, I
like it
tried
would be a
EF, I
good fit
tried
for you.
Verbling, Talgi. Yes. It's all about finding in your interest, whatever. But I would also like to mention, if I may, Anna is also very keen on doing poetry and poems, and I like that too. That's also a great way of learning English, to try to write poems or engage in this kind of literature and writing. And it's not, we had a class on haiku poems,
Oh
and that
yes, I love
was great.
haiku. I love
Because you
haiku.
engage in
Yes.
the language in a different way, in a more expressive way. Actually, this kind of writing and listening has healing aspects in it as well. So it's quite interesting. Yes, haiku poems, and we learn about syllables and accented syllables and non-accented syllables, and what are, different kinds. Here is the Voxy side. It looks a
I
bit like EF. Yes.
I gave a class, a hangout, you know. Of course, it wasn't a class because I'm not an English teacher, but I invited people, and I tried to teach them how to write poems in English because I love poems, you know, to express my feelings and so on. And I know a website where you can type words and find rhymes. It's called Rhymezone.
Oh.
And then I started playing with the words in English, and I learned a lot by doing that, you know. And then I figured out how to write a haiku, a diamond poem, a limerick, and I gave people like a formula to write poems. And
Yes, I think your class was awesome, and I think it was professional even. I really enjoyed these different kinds of poem, especially this diamond poem that is shaped like a diamond. Now you remind me. I will try to take it up again, and also this where we start with from vertical a word. I can't remember what
Oh,
they're
the
called.
acrostic.
This kind of poem where
yes,
yes, the acrostic
acrostic.
poems,
Uh-huh.
because they really engage your imagination, and they really do. And you learn a lot of English because you're using different kind of the brain when you are trying to express yourself using what you see in everyday life and nature and so forth. So you tend to use a different kind of the brain, more musical kind of brain, I think. Or you could even go and start, if you are a musician, you start writing songs and finding the lyrics in English.
I
Then
haven't
you combine
posted it.
the musical skills.
I haven't posted it yet, but I actually wrote a song for English learners. It was a little bit of a joke or a little bit of a funny about English grammar. It's called If It Weren't for English Grammar. And I plan to post it
Yes,
very soon on YouTube. But for just a second, I'm going to stop you because I need to end the broadcast. And then if you have a final thing to add, you can add it and tell me. But I want to say thank you to Beto, Anna, and Jorgen for joining us. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has chosen to watch or will choose to watch. If this video has been useful for you or enjoyable, please share it. And please visit hollytreeenglish.com if you are interested in private lessons or anything else that I have to offer. Thank you for watching. See you next time.